this story about Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan in the upcoming I Am Legend 2 film. Now, in case y'all haven't heard, there has been talk for a while that there's going to be an I Am Legend sequel with Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan. We haven't heard much about what's going on with the film and everything, but he's out along with Martin Lawrence. They're promoting, a new Bad Boys sequel, fourth film, which I really wish they would have called Bad Boys for Life, but they fucked up and named the third one that one. So, you know, he's out promoting the film, and he gave an update on the upcoming sequel. So according to A Showbiz, they said Smith is excited about the sequel he's developing with Michael B. Jordan, saying, "We had a couple weeks together about a month ago. I think it's looking good." This is what he told Entertainment Tonight, saying, "We have some really solid ideas. I think we're going to make it on screen together." This is, saying while he expressed admiration for his co-star, adding, "Jordan is the truth, so I would love to do that." Now, the original film, which came out in 2007, is based on Richard Matheson's 1954 novel, which I have read, and I actually like the book. I also believe that, there's been many reiterations of I Am Legend that have been made, including Charlton Heston made one called The Omega Man, which, I have a soft spot for that film, even though, of course, when you look at it, it's dated, but I do love The Omega Man. I like a little, I like those cheesy sci-fi horror films of back in the day. So, he plays the character by the name of Robert Neville, who's a virologist. He's the last man on Earth battling a man-made plague. The theatrical release of I Am Legend ended with, if in case I know it's not a damn spoiler. First of all, the movie is about 15 years old. So if you haven't seen the film, I don't know what to tell you. But his character died at the end of the theatrical release. But when you bought the DVD, which I do own, there was an alternate ending where he actually survived. And, I guess what they're going to do is forego the ending of the original one where he passes off the cure to Alicia Braga's character, who had this little kid with her. And then they made it, I believe, to Virginia, and everything worked out. But from what I'm hearing is that they're changing it up and Robert Neville survived. So for those people who were like, well, how did he live when he actually died in the film? Like, they're going with the alternate ending, which I thought was smart. Although I did like the fact that they kind of went against the grain and did something different. But yeah, whenever we want to do sequels and all this other stuff, you have to change the IP. So they said that writer Akiva Goldsman, who penned both the original and the upcoming sequel, shared his insights on the new film, saying that I'm Legend 2 takes place a few decades post-outbreak in 2009 in the events of the first film in 2012. And basically said that he was inspired because he says, I'm obsessed with The Last of Us, where we see the world just post-apocalypse, but also after a 20 to 30-year lapse. You see how the earth reclaims the world, and there's something beautiful in the question of, as man steps away from being the primary tenant, what happens? He added that his exploration will be especially visual in New York and teased the endless possibilities for the film setting. Goldman also hinted at revisiting elements from Matheson's original book, offering a little more fidelity to the original text, saying that this exploration of humanity's fall from dominance is a central theme for Matheson's novel, and the sequel aims to delve into more deeply. Well, I actually hope so, because one of the things I didn't like about the original I Am Legend, I did not like those CGI creatures. I feel like, can we go more practical? Like, if you're going to go and take inspiration from The Last of Us, I feel like y'all need to take a page out of The Last of Us's handbook, where they did in season one, where they actually had people who were extras, who were like movement actors or whatever. I think they had a movement coach or something, because I saw it behind the scenes. And they actually had like movement actors doing like these weird moves, and then they had them made up with prosthetics and all this other stuff, and you shoot like at least a good 15-20 actors that are made up in the the demonic costume, or whatever you want to call it, the who are infected, I should say, and then you just multiply them and make it seem like it's an army, with CGI or in post-production, whatever you want to call it. So they could do that way, make it more practical. I would actually love that, instead of some CGI creatures, which I didn't like the way they look. And when you look at the old film, they look a bit dated, and the technology is not up to par like it was. So I hope that they go in that more of that direction and make it more practical effects rather than CGI. Now, if you need to use the CGI for enhancement, I would love that. But for the most part, I need more practical effects. I need to really feel in that moment and not have it feel a little PG-13, which I think the original film was. So I'm a sucker for like zombies, vampires, that sort of thing, the infected. I love that vibe. I'm actually looking forward to I Am Legend 2, as well as I'm also excited for The Last of Us. And I know the other day that they posted a photo from, no, not I Am Legend, from The Last of Us, season 2, which I'm dreading because we all, if you played the game, you know what happens to Pedro Pascal's character Joel. I don't want to spoil it here if you don't know, but yeah, I'm really dreading how they're going to do that. If they're going to change it up or whatever the case is, I don't know. But you play the game, you know what happens. But anyway, so yeah, I say all this to say, if I haven't said it already, I'm excited for I Am Legend 2. I know Michael B. Jordan is currently shooting a film with Ryan Coogler, a untitled vampire movie that I think takes place back in, I think in the Antebellum South or something or another. So I know he's currently shooting that right now. We don't know what it's about. We just know there's vampires in it. And then Will Smith has this new Bad Boys film that's coming out, which I'm hearing is getting great reviews. I know there was mixed reviews, but most people are saying like you'll have a good time with it. So I'm excited for the new Bad Boys sequel. And to answer the question, like I really hope it does well. But I want to ask you guys, are you excited for I Am Legend 2? Are you actually excited for the new Bad Boys movie? And have we all moved on from Will Smith and the slap and the whole Chris Rock debacle? Is all forgiven? Like me personally, I'm gonna go see the new Bad Boys movie. I feel like Will Smith has paid his dues, he's paid his penance, he did his community service, he paid his, he paid up. He did everything he needed to do. I feel like at the point, and then he's been raked over the coals by the public. So, and he's also been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. So I think like he's paid his dues, he's done his penance. It's time for us to move on. We shouldn't hold things over people for the rest of their lives in that regard. Now, Diddy, we definitely gonna hold that shit over his head for the rest of his life because what he did was ridiculous. But anyway, that's not to get ahead because we're gonna get to that clip, later on in the show. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.